Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at my recording rig here and kind of how I have everything set up to make my videos. And also a new item that I got for it that I really need. And we're going to unbox that and put it on here. So if you guys can't tell already, this is a Sony a6500 camera body with a Sony 10-18 ultra wide lens. I absolutely love this lens, and I've definitely been needing it with the 3D printer reviews because of the so wide that I can still be pretty close and see everything. And we do have a little cage here by Small Rig, which kind of holds all this stuff together. So we have the Small Rig here, and it's holding up this light, which is a great video maker light, which is awesome too. So the Sony doesn't have a flip screen, it just has this pop-up screen here, which normally just sits straight up like that. That way I can see it from the top. My video feed goes to this external monitor here, which is on this flexy little thing that I can move it around, but most of the time it just sits right there, obviously. And plus, because I can see a bigger picture, I can kind of see better what I'm filming. So here I just have a regular little power bank that feeds the camera, and then it feeds this light here. And after filming, I usually plug it in and it's good for the next day. And this battery here actually has an external power, and it feeds the monitor here. The monitor can hook up another battery here, but then it becomes kind of heavy and, then I have to pull it out. But here I can just pull the battery out and it's good to go. But in any case, I'm constantly evolving with it, and probably the most silly part about this whole thing is that my stand here is a $15, or actually less than $15, like a $10 stand here from Newer that is holding up all this stuff. So eventually I'm going to get something nicer and better, but for now I'm just working with what I have. So the whole point of building this whole thing was to, have everything quickly ready to go. Once I, ready to film a video, all I gotta do is come up to it, turn on the light, turn on the monitors, and start filming. And with this setup here, I can film over 2 hours easily, non-stop if need to be, but there's no interruption. So the problem that I'm having now is that the tripod here is just a solid tripod, and I don't have any movement. So the tripod mounts straight to the Small Rig here, the cage. Then my camera is not able to tilt down, because when I'm looking at the desk here, I'm looking at it about like this straight, and I can't, do this if I wanted to. Obviously I don't need to do this most of the time. If I'm pretty flat like this, sometimes it's kind of nice to have a little bit of an angle like this, just so you can see a little better of what's happening. So this is where this thing comes in, and what this is a camera tripod ball head. If you ever used a ball head before, you know that ball heads are kind of weird unless they're really strong and high quality. And I really like the specs of it because they could hold up to 26.5 pounds of weight on it. So this is the Sinnofoto ball head model Q08, and that's compact really nicely. So it's in this bubble wrap little pouch. It is quite nice, and the best part about it is ultra heavy duty. So we have 1, 2, 3 knobs here and another knob here with a level, and then we have the top plate here and a huge ball. You can see how big that ball is. It's humongous, and it's quite heavy. So I feel like this thing is definitely going to give me what I need. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this into the tripod, and then I'm going to put my Small Rig cage on top of this. And I guess the cool part is I'd be able to, take off the whole camera if I wanted to, just like that. And by the way, there's another level right here also on both of these sides. So you got 1, 2, 3 levels here. So the way this plate comes off is that when you spin this thing comes off apart like that, and you can come up. And then when you compress it back together, obviously it locks it in. Kind of cool part is that even if you loosen it a little, it's still stuck in there. It doesn't want to come out. It will move around, but it's stuck in there. So that kind of gives you security until you completely get it out. It's still stuck in there. And then once you, loosen it quite a bit, then it'll come out. So I thought that was kind of nice. It doesn't just drop out if you loosen it a little bit. So here we have the logo and the model number. And here we have markings, I guess degrees markings of movement. So here, this big knob, if we look at it, it says tighten and a loose right here on top of it. It's kind of hard to see because this is all metal. But if we tighten this big ball here tightens up really hard, and it's hard to move now. So it's quite a very nice, robust, because I didn't really tighten that too hard, and it just works great. Everything feels super smooth. Okay, so the little knob here is for the tilting or panning. So if you don't want to pan, you just lock it and it won't turn anymore on this. But if you want to unlock it, you can actually turn and pan, and it's actually quite a smooth action. Okay, so from what I can tell, the smaller one here, it locks it, or it helps lock it, I guess. And this bigger one here, it actually is, because you can see it has like a variable on here. You know, the more you tighten it, the more it gets tighter, but it could still move. So you got this like nice motion here of resistance. So once you get it to where you want it, you can lock it with this guy. And obviously lock it even more if you want with this. So it's like a dual action. This one's like the lock and this one's like the resistance. This thing is really, really cool. So I think it's gonna really help me out. So let's go ahead and put it on the tripod and see how it works. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove my light here. And that's pretty simple. It's just this wing nut here. So now we're just left with the cage here. So all I need to do is spin it off somehow. But I do have quite a few wires connected to it. So now I'm just gonna spin this whole thing off. And there we go. So we just got to mount our plate somewhere to the bottom of the small rig here. So the ball head does have an option for the larger screw here if you unscrew this little adapter. And obviously that would be preferable, but we still have the small 1/4 inch thread here, so we'll just have to use that. I'm just going to screw it on there, and that's it. So I can go ahead and put this down all the way now. Alright, so you can see I put the plate on the small rig on the bottom of it, and I put it in sideways, and the reason for that is because I have a lot more contact. So now it will go in sideways. So now all we got to do is tighten it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust everything and tighten it up, and we'll take a little closer look. Alright, so I got everything back on and adjusted, and you can see the camera is tilting, or the lens, I guess the camera is tilting down a little bit. So that's probably about where I want it, but I'll adjust it a little more. But yeah, it looks like it's going to work out quite well, and you can tell how everything is sitting pretty nice. So I'm definitely not crazy that, you know, I'm connecting to this little small point here, but I'm pretty nice with my stuff, so it should be fine. Hopefully it's not going to break off one day and, you know, all this stuff will drop. But definitely my next upgrade will be this tripod stand here. I got to get something a little bit more beefy. So yeah, so if I want to pan now, all I got to do is loosen this little knob here just a little bit, and now I can move my camera quite easy left and right. Most likely I will never do that, but I do have that option. So I'm going to power it all on for you guys so you can see a little better. So the camera is off the battery, but once I activate this thing, it'll go to the power supply also. The power bank here also supplies power to the light up here, so turn that on. And the way I run this thing, the monitor is just plugged in right here. And here I can tell the status of my battery, which is full. And that's it, so we're all up and running. So yeah, this is basically how my shoot goes. And you can see we have quite a lean on the camera now, so it's probably a little too extreme. And I have to level it out. But if you can see, we can see the top of the table a lot more. So instead of being a flat image, you know, we're more pointing down. So and this thing is zoomed in all the way right now. So if I zoom out this crazy lens, you guys can kind of see how wide it goes. So I can go ultra wide on this thing. And I'm super close to the table, or quite close. So, but yeah, guys, just wanted to kind of share out my setup here, and mostly this ball head here. So if you need a good ball head, I think this ball head is very good. I mean, it feels like a tank. It's solid metal, like everything feels super solid. It's quite a good investment because I know it'll last forever. So actually, guys, I'm going to leave links to more stuff here. I'm going to leave links to these lights. These are awesome lights. You know, you can control the temperature of the light and, you know, the intensity, obviously, and they get quite bright. When I film, I usually go all the way down on them because I'm already kind of bright. This is all the way down. This is off. And, you know, if I bring it up any more than that, it just gets kind of crazy. Which, if I go too bright, I lose my blue, and then I get too much shadows in the background. So. Also, this battery pack is quite unique. This is the typical NPF. This is a 960. There's many different kinds, like a F550. Same kind of connector. But what makes this one unique is that it has a power output here, which you can practically power any, you know, like video equipment with. And also we have a USB power. So I can actually power more stuff from this battery externally. So, and if I get two of them, I can at the same time power this light too. So I was thinking about getting maybe another one. So, but you know, then it gets really heavy too. So obviously the camera doesn't need any kind of promoting. Everybody knows what this is. Quite an awesome camera. But if you were going to buy something like this, I think I'd suggest a 64, because a 64 right now would have been better for me than this thing, because I don't really need IBIS internal stabilization since I'm kind of sitting on a tripod anyway. I might actually get a 64 as a companion to this thing, or maybe make it even the main filming camera. I do have this thing hacked where it can unlimitedly record, so I don't have that issue. And I don't actually have any issues with overheating also. I can record 2 hours plus without stopping. The heating icon does come out, but it still keeps going. So, and then the last but not least, this monitor here by Newer. It's actually a really good monitor. I don't have the brightness turned up like crazy because I'm trying to preserve a little battery life so I can get more longer runs. It's mostly just for reference so I can see what I'm doing. But this monitor is great. The quality on it is excellent. The only issue it has is that it does not turn off. Even if you push power off on this thing, it still drains the battery. So that's why I have to unplug it every time when I'm done. So I'll leave some links in the description if you're interested in any of these things. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. This is kind of a little different than I normally do, but I kind of wanted to show you my rig here and how I film. And mostly I just wanted to show you this ball head here. And if you ever need a ball head, this thing's awesome. I think it goes for about $32 or something. A little less, a little more, depending on what the sale is, I guess. But in any case, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos, and if you're here for the first time, and you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button. So we got a lot more interesting things coming up, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.